Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 600. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games, brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Matt, we're talking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe today, but before we do so, we did hit a nice round number with this episode, so let's indulge for just a moment. What is your favorite memory of recording the Free Cheese podcast? And is it the same as mine? And
Uh,
has it been changed since the last time we recorded?
I don't remember what I said the last time we recorded. I'm gonna go ahead and just say Ben's mullet reveal is
Yeah, all right,
okay. All right.
good. So we have the same memory. I think that was our favorite memory when we did the last one of these
Oh,
questions around some sort of anniversary milestone. So congratulations to Ben Barris on having a mullet that one time. I wish you would bring it back again. And for all of you out there unfamiliar or unaware of how funny it is to see a mullet, have a friend of yours get a mullet and not tell you about it until they take their hat off, and then you see a mullet on them for the first time, and then try to breathe and record a podcast
try
at the
to
same time.
breathe.
I couldn't do either. And then I kept forgetting about it, and I'd look over at him. He still had just the thing back. Oh, so good. It is whenever this gets to be too much and it's gone. I am going full mullet for quite a while. And then we'll do something about that too. But yep. So happy 600 episodes to Free Cheese and Ben's mullet from when was that? 2018, I think.
It's in an era before. It's in an era
It's a
long, long,
long,
long time
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
That don't
My gosh.
exist.
Well, the other thing that happened a long, long time ago was Mario Kart 8, first released in 2014, but that is not what we're talking about today. We're talking about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, developed by Nintendo EAD, published by, you won't believe it, Nintendo, for the Nintendo Switch on April 28th, 2017. Back of the box reads as follows. Jump into the driver's seat with more tracks, modes, and features than ever before. New faces to race with. Duke it out in a new and improved battle mode. New players welcome. Smart steering. Now you can play without driving off course. And then they have a picture of the feather and boo items to let you know that those are new. And you can hold 2 items at once for double the firepower.
Is that new though?
That was new for Deluxe. Yeah, Deluxe did make some changes from the Wii U version.
Is that new though?
I see. So they don't put the new banner. There's a little new sticker next to the feather and the boo.
Okay.
They don't put it next to hold 2 items. They just tell you you can hold 2 items, but they're not explicitly saying, hey, here new for the first time.
It's acceptable, I guess.
Minor. Minor difference. We have covered Mario Kart before on this podcast. We covered I don't know. It was like one of the more forgettable entries, I feel, in the series. Is that right? Am I thinking of the right one, the wrong one? Are you
In
not
terms of
taking the
coverage,
rage bait? Yeah.
I mean,
I,
reviewed it. That's what you're getting at. Or something's going over my head here.
I was trying to give you the rage bait, tell you that we reviewed an inferior Mario Kart with Double Dash, but
Oh.
yeah. We did. We talked Double Dash, our first season where we switched up our format and started doing video game rankings. And I think we learned a lot in that season about like bringing our precious favorite games to this list.
Oh.
I think now that the list is a little bit more fleshed out, it's easier to bring in some of our favorite games. But back then it was rough. It was rough. So Mario Kart 8 Double Dash, as we record this episode, sits at 56 on our list.
Not Mario Kart 8 Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash.
Sorry. Yep.
You're good.
Uh, we have no other Mario Kart games on the list, correct?
SNES. That's a lie. We did one last season.
We did put, okay, I thought we did that.
It's
Right, I
lower.
had that. That was one of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is a bit lower. So it's Super Mario Kart at number 70. So yeah, we are no stranger, apparently, to Mario Kart. We also have Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed up at 29. Rightfully so. I think that's it on the kart racers. At least that we've covered so
Yes.
far. Stay tuned. There's a new Sonic racing game coming out this year. And we've got gaps in the schedule. All right, but with that said, and my point with that is that we've probably covered this question before, but just for posterity, what was your first Mario Kart video game?
Yes, NES one.
What is your favorite Mario Kart video game?
Double Dash.
That hasn't changed all through these years, huh?
No, it's more nostalgia at this point. I think. I mean, we'll get in when we talk about 8, but yeah, that GameCube, it was perfect. 4 controllers, 5 people, loser gets the boot.
Yeah.
That was good. I shit on the 2 items at one time, but that was like one of my favorite features of Double Dash was like the holding and switching of characters. It added like a element to it. So yeah, I liked that aspect of it. And there was a dumb co-op mode like with it too, where 2 controllers, 1 cart, and like 1 managed items. But of course, if you switch, they have to drive to like there was some fun to be had, hidden fun to be had with that game. But yeah, I think just at a nostalgia standpoint, Double Dash is still my favorite.
I wish I'd played. We, as a friend group, it was Smash Melee, 100%. When we were doing GameCube stuff, that was the one. And I feel like I don't remember us doing Mario Kart in any like I remember when Wii came out, we did some local Wii stuff at like a Friday night pizza party, but that was kind of it. My first Mario Kart was Mario Kart 64, and I don't know. I feel like my favorite might be the Switch one, but the Switch one to me, as we'll discuss, I don't want to call it. It just seems, and maybe this is because we're like 11 years of this being the Mario Kart and 7 years of this being the Mario Kart specifically on Switch.
Yeah.
But like this one just feels so like safe. Like it's just clean. All the edges have been rounded off. It is Mario Kart at its purest. It's very refined. It plays exactly like you want it to, but there's nothing weird about it, right? There's no like weird character to the game, I feel. And I feel like it's hard to call it my favorite without feeling like a sellout, but it's it might be just in like totality. Like it's probably my favorite Mario Kart. I don't know. We'll explore that today. When did you first play Mario Kart 8? Did you play the Wii U version or
Nope.
was the Switch version?
I still haven't played the Wii U actually, have I? I may have. In passing in at one point there being a Wii U in a break room at some point in my life. I may have played it there. However,
Sure.
that might have been a GameCube. I can't remember. Anyway, no, but like me owning and playing a lot of my hours, sinking a lot of my hours for the first time is day one Switch when it came out.
Yeah. I'd played a good bit of it on Wii U and liked it. And the great thing about this version of the game on Switch is that every problem I had with the Wii U version of it, they fixed. Like it was like, oh, I wish there were a battle mode. Okay, we added a battle mode. Oh, I wish I'm trying to remember now like my big complaints with that first one. I remember what I liked about it a lot. Um, like the online play, the easy um, you could take your highlight reels and push them to YouTube. That was very like clean because it would kind of like go through Miiverse or something like that to push them up. But it was all like very the Miiverse integration was great because that's where all the like Luigi death stares came from and everybody's like memes in the game. Like that stuff was so much fun. Um, yeah, the additional characters was a good get for this game. Like having that added in. I mean, yeah, battle mode was the big one. New characters. We obviously got more courses eventually. The double items was like a nice, fun. Hey, we changed it up from the first one. Um, I don't remember because like that's the thing too. This game looks great, but it looked great on Wii U. I do think it runs faster. Um, like I think the Wii U version was still 60, but I think resolution was different, and I think the resolution here is locked at 60. Where in Wii U you would definitely feel it struggle from time to time. Um, so I don't know. Anyway, when this one came out, it was very much like good. You brought one of the best games from Wii U over to the Switch, and then that obviously like became the first of almost all of them, I think. So this episode's going up. You're listening to this as early as March 10th, so we're still a couple weeks out. But like, yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X is the last one on Wii U that is really like trapped there. Besides like Kirby's Rainbow Curse and some of the ones that are like very stylus heavy. That yeah. Um. So why did we decide to add it to the list this year?
You're asking me.
I was yeah. This was a joint decision. This was not one of us in particular that
Yeah, I mean that was
added it.
fair. As you kind of hinted at the beginning, we have some weeks to fill, and we're looking for ideas. And we have been playing a lot of Mario Kart. A lot. We've been playing Mario Kart multiplayer, on and
Yeah.
off the last few months since I think our talked about Halo fall off from last year.
Yeah, I think Halo died for us in August. And I've since gone back to Halo from time to time just to do a couple of rounds, just get a feel for it. And it's some of the stuff you and I were running into, I've not run into as frequently, which is nice, but it's still like, I mean, hey, we're in a we're in a post Monster Hunter Wilds world, so there is no need for any other multiplayer game to exist at this point for us. But in absence of that, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been a really, really great, like, hey, you want to hang out and just race. And it's been solid. So let's discuss the game itself. As we do with every episode of the Free Cheese Podcast, we talk about the gameplay, the visuals, the sound, and then we each individually share our sort of review overall thoughts. And then we rank it on the list, which you can follow along with at thefreecheese.com/the list. Or if you're watching, you can follow along with us right here live when we get to that part of the podcast. But let's kick it off with gameplay. What is the major addition to you in this game? And we can kind of branch this out so we're in totality discussing like just Mario Kart 8, broadly speaking, right? Like there's some changes subtly that happened from 8 to Deluxe, but with 8 itself, what would you think is or what would you call as like the major change from 7?
So as someone that hasn't played 7 either. I don't know what they did as far as like the cars transforming, but that was like the big change for me coming from Wii to 8. It's not it's not terribly different, but like the underwater, your car feels a bit heavier and floaty.
Yeah.
When you're hovering, it's like your drifts are a little bit more
Like
wide.
looser in a
Yeah,
yeah.
loose is a good term. There's some mechanics to the carts themselves that change with the transformations that the carts go through. So at like a gameplay level, I would think that's like the biggest addition to me.
Yeah, the anti-grav, I think is how
Ah,
they talked
yes.
about it. The anti-gravity stuff. That was the big shift in 8, I remember. 7 did add the glider and the ability to sort of do that.
Okay.
Like the what do they call it, a glider?
I
That would
but
pop out
yes.
when you're over a certain point, you know. But yeah, the underwater stuff, the theoretic or technically you're going upside down in some levels in Mario
Mm,
Kart 8.
mm-hmm.
And it's because your wheels shift to become sort of magnetized to the ground. Um, that's kind of the big change, I suppose. Um, but overall, I think the other thing for me that was different about this one, especially when we get to the Switch version, is just like the ability to update it over time. And I think that was something that I took for granted after it was done on both games. Because on 8, it happened back in the first, like, uh, the Wii U era of it. And then again in Deluxe, they did the DLC stuff for Deluxe. So now you have like the booster pass with all the courses and extra characters and
The
things like that that
booster
all got
course
added in.
pass.
Booster course pass. But like both of those, they just kept the game alive and more interesting. And we saw that with Smash. I mean, we talked about it not too long ago, even on here, where like Nintendo needs another thing like that. And hopefully Mario Kart on Switch 2 is that. But having that kind of like thing to look forward to, like when the one for Wii U got announced, they added or they announced sort of like, forgive me, it's been so long. I think it was, I'm probably wrong. I think it was Zelda first, Animal Crossing second on the Wii U one. The way that they ordered those things. But either way, like they'd announced, it was like the game came out in May for Wii U. In September or somewhere in the fall, they put out the first half of the DLC. I think it was Zelda in the fall, and then Animal Crossing hit in the spring. And that gave you like drivable Link, drivable Villager, and Isabelle. I'm forgetting. But then the Animal Crossing track itself and the Hyrule track, and like, of course, that to me felt like, all right, well, that's the next step. And we still don't know what the next Mario Kart is, if that's going to end up having more Nintendo properties or not. But it was still like, that was exciting for this. And it was exciting that like, I knew there was more Mario Kart coming. And same thing, when they finally did this booster course pass stuff, it was like, oh, great. We have something to look forward to, new things to play with this to keep this game fresh and alive. And it went on for a while, man. Like I thought they were probably timing that out to line up with the release of the Switch 2, and then they ended up not getting that thing out maybe when they wanted to, but yeah. Outside of changes or additions to the game, items. Let's look at the items themselves within the game. There's quite a few. I didn't actually count this or check this, but I believe it's the like largest number of items in a Mario Kart game. Actually, you would you consider like the special items per character in Double Dash to be
I mean, there's a lot
numeric?
there because I think there's 12 columns of characters in because it was by pairing, right? Like if you had baby Mario Luigi, it was
Yeah.
the same thing. Um, Peach or um, Daisy, same thing. The hearts, but I don't know. Like not everyone had that available unless you went unlockable Petey Piranha and King Boo. Their
Mm.
special was they got randomized specials. Um, so I don't know. In terms of like being available to everyone, this is probably the biggest roster or the biggest item list count,
I
whatever.
think yeah.
But yeah,
But still generally like the main stage. You've got banana, green shell, triple green, red shell, triple red, blue shell, bomb, mushroom, triple mushroom, golden mushroom, bullet bill, The my gosh, why am I blanking on the squid?
Blooper.
Blooper, thank you. Lightning bolt, star, fire flower, the boomerang flower, piranha plant. You've got the new 8 item, which is the what do they call it? The boom box or the
Super horn.
super horn. You have your crazy 8.
Crazy 8.
You have a coin, and then for multiplayer in deluxe, you have the feather, and then for all modes, they've added the boo. Talk to me about the super horn.
It's a defense item, which like the defense item, like the blue shell killer defense item.
Yeah, the only one, right?
Yeah. There are ways to defend, in previous Mario Karts, but this is like the definitive item that finally lets you, like, if you have it, you're in good shape.
Yeah. It works for a lot more, but that is definitely like if you've got it, hang on to it if you're in first place for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I guess it does do AOE effect, where if someone's around you, you could use it and take them out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Not why you want it. I think the bullet bill was new for 7, unless you remember it from an earlier game. Was that in Wii?
I feel like Bullet Bill was in Double Dash. I feel like it was one of the
Okay.
specials.
Maybe Boomerang is definitely the one I'm thinking of for being a new addition in 7.
I
Because Boomerang Flower would have been like a Mario Galaxy thing, so it couldn't have
Yeah.
happened. So that might have even been Wii, but yeah, those were added in um characters. This is definitely by far the largest roster, right?
Oh yeah, it has to be
Like,
because you
yeah, there's
have.
no
I mean,
way.
this is some people are here. Mario Kart : some are here.
Right. Uh we don't need to list out every single because there's a ton.
I mean, I guess
Um
the notable, like, you kind of already mentioned them, but the notable non-core Mario characters making an appearance are the two Inkling,
yeah.
boy, Inkling girl, Inkling boy, Link, the female and male versions of villagers, and then Isabelle, and me. You could create your own me thing.
Yes. Yeah, you bring your Mii in, and then the Wii U version, you had to actually have the amiibo to unlock the Mii costumes that the adjoining Mii costumes for that amiibo. So you scan in a Pac-Man, you get a Pac-Man costume, Sonic, Mega Man, so on and so forth. Samus as well. In Switch, they're just there, which is nice. You don't need to scan amiibo. In fact, I don't know what amiibo do in Switch.
What do you do? Period. You know.
That's true. I'm looking. Inkling suit and Animal Crossing suit. Those are unlocked with amiibo.
Great. Glad that's around.
There's also Me racing suits. Um, they just get you, yeah, just different. There are other things tied to characters that you scan in. Okay, so yeah, there are some that you still need to scan and unlock with amiibo, but
Okay. I'm
yeah.
glad we're here.
Are they? Do you think amiibo are coming back for Switch 2?
I mean, still pump them out, right? I'm not going crazy there.
I think they've really slowed down. Once they kind of finished up the Smash Brothers bit, I think they're kind of done with those things, but who knows? If people buy them, they'll
Yeah.
make them. The thing I did like about the DLC characters added in the Booster Course Pass is that they started adding some Mario characters who don't regularly show up. You know, like Pauline finally made an appearance. Funky Kong is now playable. They did get your Petey Piranha back in. Kamek is playable. Uh, and then Diddy Kong, which Diddy's been in some Mario Kart games before, right? I mean, he was in Double Dash, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what else Mario Kart wise.
I can't speak for
I guess
Wii and 7 because well, 7 I've really never played. Wii, I do not remember what was in that game and not.
it's showing he's in Wii.
Okay.
Thanks to our good friends at MarioWiki.com. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, I mean that was cool, but we also just in the core roster got some interesting characters. One of which you have gravitated toward. Who do you typically go for?
Our friend Roy.
And like, where did that start? Because who did you play as? Like, who's your typical go-to in a Mario Kart game?
At Double Dash, it was always I always went heavy. If PD if PD Piranha or King Boo were unlocked, obviously for strategical purposes, I would pick them. But I would, if not, I would usually go with like a Donkey Kong and maybe I'm trying to think. Like Donkey Kong always wanted the big banana. I may have brought like a Mario or someone for the triple shells. Other than
Okay,
that, like I don't, I've picked Toad. Oh, that's you know what? It was Toadette and Donkey Kong
that's a
and
that's
Double
a good
Dash.
combo.
Like I would always go for like a Yoshi or a Toad, and in some of the other games, I never really pay much attention. This game, I would just look at the roster and saw this stupid character with glasses, and I was like, it gotta be him. And then it was so stupid that I kept taking selfies on your own Switch because you made the
I still
mistake.
have like
Oh, I'm sure
so
it
many.
would take work to get rid of all the images I took. You gave
Oh yeah,
me so like when we would play over at your house, you would give us the Joy Cons, like the tiny ones, to have you have enough controllers. And every time you made the decision to give me the one with the screenshot button like an idiot. And so I took advantage of it. I would turn
except
the
for the
cam.
one time when I gave you the one with the home button specifically to stop you from taking screenshots, and then you kept backing us out of the game accidentally a bunch of times.
Um, but yeah, no, I would I would do the reverse cam, and then I would just take selfies, and I would try to get. I would in the middle of the race, I would try to like navigate next to one of you all, and then take a selfie mid race.
Is Roy the most selfieable Mario Kart character?
I mean, he's got that sly smile. He's got those shades,
It's got the shades.
like
Yeah,
he's ready to show off.
yeah, that's fair. What are you gonna do if he's not back in for the next game?
Well, everyone's here, so I'm not worried about it.
All right, fair enough. I tend to go for Shy Guy in this one. Um, which was never my. I feel like I always went Luigi was usually my character in any of these. Whenever one of these multiplayer Mario things came up, I always picked Luigi because he was taller, and at the time I was taller than my brother. Therefore, I thought that was the older
Okay.
brother. I should be Luigi.
Okay.
Turns out Luigi is younger, but also my brother is now taller than me. So
What are you gonna do?
nothing. Yeah, can't do anything. Um,
I would pick Samus though if Samus was available. I also want to see how she drives a cart with a hand being a cannon.
she doesn't. She just shoots everybody around her and keeps them off of her back. Looking at tracks, what is your favorite new track added to Mario Kart 8? Because we got quite a bit of tracks in this game. Prior to the DLC, there were 32. I'm talking in the core game, there were 32 tracks in the game. 16 uh, old, 16 new. And then in DLC for the original game, they added what was it? 8 and 8, or four, I'm sorry, 4 and 4. No,
No, it was
my
8 and 8.
goodness.
There's 2 cups or
Okay,
four
yeah,
cups in total.
yeah. So we end up with a total of what?
Oh gosh, 16,
It was 16
32,
and
48, and
32. So
then
yeah, 48 by the end of the first game, and then the deluxe DLC ends up adding what? Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 8, another 48 tracks on top of that. So yeah, this game's got
yeah,
96 different courses by the end of it. Um, just looking kind of at that core. 8 roster, those 16 added. What's your favorite of the mix? Or
Uh,
name a few, whatever if you can't pick.
I looking at the before DLC is added. I like. I'm fond of Mount Wario. I
Hmm.
like the idea of that just be one downhill thing in sectors. I thought that was a cool concept. I like Sunshine Airport as well.
Yes, it's a good one.
Um, and I feel like I confused the Electrodome and another one like that, maybe, but I like Electrodome a lot too, I think, if I'm thinking of the right one. Is that the one with like the two paths that kind of go.
Pink and green,
Yeah,
and as
yeah,
you
okay.
drive over it, the
I like
tiles light up.
it's a good technical level.
Yeah, yeah, that one's good. I think Mount Wario is my favorite for sure. Um, I also really like Shy Guy Falls.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yeah, like like
where they're like mining and
yeah, the
stuff,
mining
and
carts,
there's
the carts. That's
the
one, yeah.
water part that
Mhm.
you can like really optimize those speed pads as they float by. Cloud Top Cruise is another one. Cloud Top Cruise is the one where they did this thing with it's just like a different perspective on the question mark block with the vine coming out of it. And it was just like kind of mind blown moment when you put the two and two together. Like, wow, they can do that. Uh how about the like do you want to look at the newer the
I have
I don't even
I have some favorites in newer ones. Like
of the like
the
new
original DLC,
DLC?
the Wii U
Yeah, yeah.
DLC. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hit
Mute
me.
City, awesome.
Yes, yeah.
Um Excite Bike is basic, but like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that. And that
Um
one's subtly different each time too. They leaned into
yeah.
the NES, yeah, nature of that game.
Um and I like Hyrule Circuit a lot too. I like that one little turn where you have to hit the I think it's the swords or the glowing things to unlock the shortcut in the middle as you go down.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
technical piece of that level. But I think the cool thing they do with some of those levels, those themes, is bring in the sound effects, and I think that just adds to the atmosphere of those tracks, and it just makes them
Yeah.
stand out in a way that the other courses like they stand out, but like having a different sound effect all of a sudden is a little not jarring, but like it's unique. It makes them stand out.
You also became pretty fond of Ice Ice Outpost as we would play that a bit. That's the one that's like the almost like the luge. It's like the green and yellow paths in the Triforce Cup.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yep, yeah.
That one's fun. There's a lot of weird shortcuts on that one. Conversely, one that I like that you did not love is the Animal Crossing circuit. Why don't you like that one?
I don't. I can't put my finger to it. I don't know if it's like a. I'm just not like. It's the one I just haven't like gotten good at or what. Um, I know like there's that one section of it that's like it's okay, but it's like the downhill part with a bunch of ramps where I think the train is also going by,
Yeah,
if I
yeah, yeah.
remember right. I mean, I like the idea of seasons. Like that's a cool little concept where you get a random season each time, but uh, I don't know. Like I don't hate it per se, but I'm not voting for it either when in a multiplayer lobby.
I hear that. That's been my favorite of the like. I like that one. I think over the high. I like the Hyrule one, but the Hyrule one, I feel like it's more Skyward Sword era of like Zelda design, world design. Where I know I'm just being stupid and nitpicky. Um, but yeah, the Animal Crossing one, I do like the seasons. I like the like how it represents the game, and I like seeing the villagers on the sides of the track is fun. Then we get into the DLC for Switch courses, the Booster Course Pass. And yeah, they put another 48 tracks, which is nuts. Um, a lot of them end up, it starts off really, really strong. Like when you get into some of these first things that are dropped, you have a couple of brand new levels like Ninja Hideaway, um, and I believe Sky Garden was brand new. but you end up like getting a lot of the tour stuff dumped onto the course pass there. But is there something from that, I guess, any of those 48 that you stands out to you?
I mean, it's new. There's because there's really not a lot of new. I really don't like the tour maps. As someone that just like I don't know. I like when they're crazy and I like when the courses are like crazy and weird. I don't like want to drive through Madrid. Like
Yeah.
and that's a lot of them. Um yeah, as far as the new ones, nothing really stands out. But again, I have not played. If I may not have played all 48 of these new courses at this point in time. Because I
So
was
that
not.
was the fun thing about them coming out, is like I was staying with those releases and jumping in and playing them. Like if they dropped on a Friday, like I'd sit down after work and that would be my thing. I'd play through at least one of the cups, get my gold trophy, and move on. But
Yeah, I
um,
didn't buy this until we started playing, just to make sure
yeah,
compatibility wasn't a weird thing or whatever. I had no
yeah,
problem
yeah,
sinking the $20 or whatever it was. Um, but I mean, some of my returning like favorite maps, DK Mountain, that was always a favorite of mine in Double
yes.
Dash. I like DK Summit. Same idea as the other. That's a
The
Mount Wario.
Mario, yeah.
Um, DK Summit, I guess, did it first in a way. Um, yeah, I like some of the returning stuff too. Those are the standouts. I can name a bunch.
I misspoke. This so Sky Garden is actually from GBA, but yeah, the brand new for the DLCs. You had Ninja Hideaway, Sky High Sunday, which I think is fine. I think it's
It's fine.
fun to like drive around on ice cream, but eh. Merry Mountain, which is a Christmas themed course. The Yoshi's Island course is pretty cool. You and I just did a bunch of that one recently.
Hmm.
The Squeaky Clean Sprint, that's the bathroom race that you go through. That one reminded me a lot of the Micro Machine games on like Genesis. And then Piranha Plant Cove, which couldn't tell you, I have
I
no
don't even remember
recollection of
playing
that.
that one,
No,
but yeah,
not at all.
thumbnails not doing me favors. We'd be remiss to not shout out the old DLC retro tracks and not bring up your boy Baby Park.
So, well, that brings me to what are your top 2 to 4 tracks brought in from older Mario Kart games?
Baby Park, far and away.
Nope. Okay.
One,
That's why I
two,
asked number
three.
2, 3, and 4.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Baby Park number one. Going back, I like the I'm trying to remember all the ones that. Right, I gotta look in the
While you
second.
pull that, was this the first that brought back Baby Park? Had Baby Park been locked on?
I don't. I think again, not playing seven. I don't know for sure, but I don't remember it on Wii. I would
Yeah.
think I would remember it on Wii. So if it's not on Wii, then I don't know where it would have appeared otherwise. I like when I like the SNES come those things coming back. I like the rendition of the SNES Bowser's Castle in this because a problem with
Yeah.
the SNES tracks, and you see this in this game, they're flat, and that's the one that
Yes.
kind of adds like some like gravity. It kind of takes advantage of
Yeah, the
like
walls just go straight
yeah,
up.
it kind of takes advantage of some of the geometry that this game allows. So I thought like that was unique bringing that one back from Super Nintendo, but reimagined much more than some of the other ones. Um, oh gosh, I really like Mute City. I like the F-Zero aesthetic. I like the idea of hanging out on that one side, getting the boost, and that kind of gives you like coins as well. It's like risk reward in a way. I mean, I can sit here and say all the GameCube ones because I just know them intimately. Daisy
Yeah.
Cruiser, like I also like the
So I had the
GameCube
same
Yoshi.
thing where like the N64 Toad's Turnpike, the N64 Yoshi Valley, like that one being kind of reimagined. The one that I didn't like, and this is something we haven't talked about yet, is the way that they destroyed N64 Rainbow Road. And in fact, like overall, I don't think I like any of the Rainbow Roads in it. Maybe the SNES one, what they did with that one, but the main Rainbow Road, what do you think about that one?
I confuse all the Rainbow Roads together, especially the ones I haven't played.
This is the one that has that's awful. If you remember that one. Uh this is the one that's like on a space station.
Yeah, I
And it's very easy to fly off the side.
well, that's any Rainbow
No,
Road.
like
I know it
I
has
think
that. It has
exceptionally
that
so.
one giant spiral at one point, right?
Yeah, there's a spiral, and then depending on which lap, there's like different like paths are moving clockwise or counterclockwise. I don't know. I don't like the Rainbow Road, the core one in the game. And then how they changed some of the old ones I wasn't a super fan of. But they did add in the Wii Rainbow Road, which is I think pretty fun. But the SNES one's definitely good. Um, other standout tracks. Any of the like SNES or GBA style ghost levels, like Boo Lake from GBA, or the like I don't even know the names of them. But any of the like I'm trying to find
I
at
mean, there's
least
an
one of
SNES
them.
Boo one too. I think. I think they brought that one
Yeah.
back in one of the DLCs.
But yeah, any of those are always a favorite of mine. Uh outside of cart or outside of tracks, carts. Uh do you have a go-to like customization option, or do you just go for what looks cool?
I usually try. So I purposely pick heavy characters. I just got lucky that Roy is heavy. That's kind of why I've stuck with him for so long. But I usually like to stick with heavier characters and a cart that controls nicely enough. But my main focus is like a high acceleration cart. Because if I've learned anything is in these games, you can easily get fucked. So the faster I can get up and back run it again, I will. The
Yeah.
lack of top speed, I'll navigate. I'll figure that out. But I want to be prepared for all scenarios. I don't know. As we've gotten online and we've bumped our ranks online a little bit, I don't have the front runner mentality that I've grown accustomed to having.
Mm.
Um, so that's why I always had high acceleration because I was always prepared for blue shells, red shells, like being first, second, third, or whatever. But
And just yeah.
but so maybe I need to back out of that a little bit. But yeah, no, I've just that's been my strategy since I realized stats were a thing in Double Dash. With just high acceleration, I'll sacrifice speed for an okay handling cart, nothing too stiff.
No bikes?
So I ran bikes with motion controls and Wii, but when I was not and I don't know. They feel I don't know if I'm just trapped with them and the plastic Wii steering wheel or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Um yeah, no, I carts. I like being heavy in a cart.
Do you remember where you were when Nintendo announced that they were adding Mercedes to Mario Kart?
I I don't remember where. I feel like I read it in an IGN article and it said of course and moved on with my day.
I specifically remember the IGN article um on like a Wednesday night or something. This is back on like the Wii U era, but they retained them for the Switch version, so they really cut that deal. Um have you ever used any of them?
Maybe once for the lulz, but that's I
Yeah.
had not regularly used it.
Yeah.
That was the one cart that
Um
I typically. I'm looking at the cards. Maybe it's oh these stats are a mess after I shrunk my window. I feel like I used that Koopa Clown cart. That looks familiar. Or the Bitty Buggy.
oh
Or
the
the land ship.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
the land ship I use. One of them. anyway.
I found myself using the P-Wing for a while just because I like the style of it. The B Dasher I did for the DS throwback. But otherwise, I feel like I just use the standard cart or the pipe frame. One of those is nice. There's a whole meta you can go down if you want to be that guy for sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know that I always want to be.
Mm.
Speaking of meta, we have played predominantly online in the last year or so. For Nintendo, how is the gameplay experience online?
Once we're in a lobby together, step one. It's been fine.
Yeah, clean enough. What do you think is missing to make it better or more enjoyable? What would be an
Well,
improvement
line or
for
Mario
Switch
Kart in
2?
general?
Online.
A lobby.
Yeah. Like join friends
A
and then
yep,
go in
a
together. Yeah.
lobby where you can party up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of multiplayer games.
We'll see. I'm getting more
Hey,
and
we got in
more
Splatoon. Small victories.
fair.
Small victories. So
Yeah.
maybe.
Still needed that app to use voice chat though. So we'll see how that shakes
Small
out.
vic. Look, the voice chat we can navigate easily enough. It was very hard to navigate no party system. And Splatoon 3, my cries were heard.
We got there. You're
It's
right.
not terrible though, because at least like I don't. It's because like it is kind of nice when like one of us beats the other one online. We can just start racing, and you don't have to do that thing where like you wait to back out. That's like the only one positive thing of it. It's still annoying as hell, but
But if you and I were both getting online at the same time,
yeah, it sucks.
yeah, that part stinks because usually that means that one of us is racing without the other for a minute until we get synced up. Um, yeah, that's not clean. How about the voting feature? So the game features voting in between courses. Everybody in the lobby, once you're in one, gets to vote on the next course. You like that? Hate that?
I like it. I think it's legacy. I remember that being the case in the Wii version.
Yeah, I feel like that was even the like they might have had that in Smash Brothers Brawl. I might
Oh,
be misremembering.
I didn't play a lot of
I
that.
didn't play. No, I remember doing Brawl online like twice on Wii because that was a rough time. But yeah, I like it.
It keeps
It's
it
kind of perfect.
fresh. It keeps it fresh.
I definitely like the rotation. Like I struggle sometimes with like, do I want them to add more options to vote for each especially now that there's 96 courses, having just like 3 in a random feels too few. Um, but I
Yeah.
guess as long as they're keeping the course selection, rolling and varied, it
Yeah, no,
works.
I like I like the role of the choices because too often, especially in a game like Call of Duty, like you'll get like call it right it changes every year. But as of right now, Black Ops 6, it gives you one map, two map random, and
Yeah,
just too often like a fan favorite map comes up and it's just immediately and there's no chance of the second map even having a shot at being selected. But like
right.
in this scenario, like 10 people can pick one thing, one person picks random, and then the other one does the correct choice and picks Baby Park. There's still a 1 in 12 chance that Baby Park gets selected.
That's true. Yeah. I like the odds of that.
It also made it exciting. It was like a
Yeah.
bit of a, you know.
What am I gonna get? It also sucks when like everybody in the lobby picks the level you want
Yeah.
and it lands on the one person with random and you end up in something terrible like Baby Park. Overall, the series, how challenging would you consider Mario Kart is?
uh, I think 50 is your easy. 100. I mean, I'm just saying things that you already know, but like, I
Do you
say
feel like being 150 like makes it difficult, or do you feel like you get to a point? Because I do feel like I dominate at a certain point in Mario Kart. Obviously, you're
once
always at
you,
win
uh,
of the items, but
yeah, but like I feel like once you run a track a few times and you start to learn the shortcuts, like 150cc, you're not usually seeing AI take those shortcuts, not in the traditional
Mhm.
sense. Um, So like once you kind of learn the map, you can not manipulate it, but use your map knowledge to your advantage.
Do you feel like online mitigates that a
Yes.
bit so that it remains challenging?
Yeah. Yeah.
How about 200cc, a new addition for
I haven't played it a
Mario?
lot, but I liked it a lot. It felt like it added strategy to Mario Kart more
Yeah.
so than ever before because of a reliance on a new button called brake.
Yeah, like I've never had to break in Mario Kart before until
I've
that,
had
and I
to hold
still.
brake and hit backwards to, or like hit back to go backwards a
Yeah,
couple
yeah, yeah,
times, but
sure.
never brake.
Is Mario Kart a game of skill or is it a party game?
Party game.
Can it be both?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Much better than Mario Party. Mario Party is a crapshoot where it's too random. This like I think the better player will prevail more times than not. However, there's enough mix up in these games where even that person that's like not the greatest at driving will get a win.
yeah, fair. We're let's get a win with some visuals and sound. I'm going to kind of move us quickly through these questions before we rank Mario Kart 8. How does the game look overall? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I think it looks great.
It's yeah, I think it's evocative of the HD era of Nintendo. They finally got there with Wii U and they got those models the way they wanted them to. I do wish that overall things had a bit more character to them. And already what we've seen with like the changes to Donkey Kong and the new Mario Kart, like it's subtle, but like I think the way that we might start seeing some of the characters animate in Switch 2 games, just might give them a little bit more nuance. We'll see. That I guess remains to be seen, but overall, yeah, I mean, it looks good. I do really like a lot of the levels. I like the way they feel. I like the way they.
I like the variety too.
Yeah,
Like for 96 levels, some of them feel the same, but I would say most of them, as you were going through them, like looking at the thumbnail, they are distinct enough where I remember like their color scheme or their palette or
yeah.
the course design to an extent, but yeah, like just the thumbnail, the color palette kind of sticks them out too.
Did you play much between TV and handheld, or are you always TV for this one?
I'm usually TV, honestly. I have not. I think I played handheld once with my sister just to kill time, maybe between like a period of a hockey game or something. I don't know.
So I'm sorry. In that case, you went tabletop. I forgot to mention tabletop mode,
Yes,
the
tabletop.
third
Yeah.
of the Switch pillars. Have you played much on the OLED?
I
Just
haven't. I have not used that
wondering.
OLED to its design at all. If I like, I don't want to say a waste of money because I do use the Ethernet port on my dock, but
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I have not been handheld very much.
Playing my Vita more, I like it makes me wish I would have bought an OLED Switch, but at this point,
You want one?
we're almost there. Um, just a couple more months, hopefully. Uh, are there any classic levels you feel like had the most significant kind of or imaginative recreation in 8, just visually speaking?
I'll stick with my answer that I kind of said before. The SNES Bowser's Castle getting like the full
Yeah.
anti-grav treatment. That's the first thing that jumps out at me.
First one I thought of was Cheeseland, which I don't think is the correct answer, but it is our 600th episode, so let's just go with that. Are there any episodes? Are there any stages that look too good to you?
too
I
too
don't
good.
even know what the question is. I
I
wrote it.
mean
I
I
don't
think
remember.
the I think like the levels that I don't know why but like the bright colors at 60 frames. So like your rainbow roads on a black backdrop with the bright colors of the track, the electrodome
Yeah,
level
yeah.
sticks out. Yeah, and just those levels with like the black backdrops with the colors popping off. I like I don't know why. I think it might just be the art style of these games, but those brights really pop off the screen.
Now, conversely, so you mentioned you did not love the tour levels. Do you agree with the consensus that the tour levels don't look as impressive visually?
Maybe that's it, but I don't know. My bigger problem with them is it's like I want to be in a land. I don't want to be in Nintendo's
New
version of
York.
Madrid. Yeah, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's fair.
I
How about
also,
the? Did you ever
I
go
also
back
they're
to
harder to
tour?
learn because the tracks transform. And I know that's the shtick in Tour, so that's like
Yeah,
another negative. Is like I have trouble learning them because you don't take the same consistent three rights in a row. It's
yeah, that's true. Did you ever go back to tour?
no, so, I never found the revolution in mobile gaming.
Yes.
I have not been to Japan yet. I'm sorry.
You never played it at all, right?
Oh, I played it once, got mad,
Okay.
and deleted it.
Pulled the pipe, moved on.
Probably went back
Yeah.
to that trash Dr. Mario.
Rip. Um, do you wish there were more customization options in future games or in this game even?
I would say the cart stuff is there. I mean, there's some stat stuff, but I mean, you can kind of build an okay looking car with some stats. Are you talking about characters
Would
though?
you Yeah, like would you rather have one character slot for Mario who can transform into Tanuki Mario and Dr. Mario and whatever else and just have costumes?
Uh,
That may or may not have stat changes as well, because I know Tanuki Mario is different weights, but
yeah. I mean, whatever. Sure. Uh, if it cleans up the character select screen for 42 proper Nintendo characters, where I can get three variants of Mario, three variants of Luigi, bring on Samus's different suits or a zero suit if you want to get real fancy.
sure.
Give me
You just have to
look
do a
look
final smash. Yeah.
look. I'll sacrifice the 5 Bowser kids or whatever. Just give me the
Mm.
variants that include Roy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I'll take some sacrifices there to get a cleaner character select screen for Mario Kart. Colon, everyone's here.
I'm into that. How heavily should Amiibo be integrated into unlocks? Ever.
Keep it on that me thing. I don't use that character. I don't know about you. I think you used it once for
I
lols.
used it as a joke and then forgot about it. Yeah. Did you ever get to experience the Luigi death stare?
No.
It was a fun time. I remember noticing it organically, not thinking like too much of like calling it a death stare or anything, but
Right.
because the Wii U game had that like highlight and shareable highlight thing, it was really cool when I'd share stuff to Miiverse. And I remember like I played as Luigi a bunch, so I would get exposed to that and just like, man, he's really just like locked in. Have you noticed any other weird animations or characters or things like that similar to the Luigi death stare?
No.
Other than Roy's dumb grin.
I don't think so. Not that I. Not in a way. Like, not in a get glitched kind of way, you know?
I got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So sound wise, are there any sounds from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that haunt you?
Haunt?
Yeah.
That whizzing of the blue shell, I guess.
Yeah, perpetually haunting. In a positive haunt, I do feel like the one that always sticks to me whenever I think about this game is I think it's a 3DS level that they brought over where you are like driving on piano keys.
Oh yeah, that music, that like, yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, the way that when you drive over the piano keys, you hear it like all the way up the thing. Yeah, 3DS Music Park is the name of the game or the name of the stage. I feel like that one sticks with me. Um, yeah, I don't know many other ones that stick out. I do you called it out before, but like Hyrule Circuit having sort of the Zelda sound effects is nice. Same thing in the F-Zero stages when you hit the recharge and you're just getting coins in this, but you kind of
yeah.
hear that little charge up sound is nice. Overall, how would you describe the soundtrack of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
I think it's a good one. It's one of those like I'm probably unless I'm fresh off a track, I'm not humming it to
Yeah.
myself too much, but like it has, it kind of has that Mario Galaxy 2 kind of big band feel at various courses. Um, I think, and also like there, the courses that need different type of music, like your Bowser's Castles, your Boo type level, like your haunted man, like ghost levels or whatever. Like I think they had the appropriate stuff, but nothing sticking out that I can remember at the very second.
A lot of I think like Mario Kart Stadium stands out to me. Not that I could hum it for you at all, but like I remember that one obviously being like the flagship stage to kick off the game, and just hearing the sort of like jazz arrangements they've added for this game was definitely a oh, here's the tone of the game in a way.
So funny enough, like
Uh,
the two tracks I can like on the dot like hum for you are Baby Park, obviously, and
sure.
um, not even in this game, the GameCube Rainbow Road.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I do think the Excite Bike stage has good music in this one
Hmm.
because it pulls back in those themes, but in a nice, like remastered way. Yeah. Well, before we rank this on the list, a couple of closing questions and our final thoughts. Is this the best Mario Kart technically?
I think so. I
I
think
think
so.
so too.
It's just what at this point of time, even without the booster course pack or pass,
Yeah, yeah.
like there is a lot of stages. Um,
48 of them.
they're callbacks, new. The character selection it starts to branch out some. I think there's like a plethora of cart selections and strategies you can do with that. Um, O line's okay. It gets the job done. It puts a number, it puts an MMR next to your thing and ranks accordingly or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's so polished, and this just might be the deluxe thing, but like it just every aspect of it, it just feels like thought was put into that turn. That thought was put
Mm.
into um, placement of a jump. Yeah, it just feels so polished, and on top of that, just running at 60 flawlessly, and it looking as good as it is. It's tough to say. I think it's harder to argue that this is not the best Mario Kart game technically than it is to argue it is.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's kind of where I opened up with is like I think by default this is my favorite Mario Kart, but
That's why I said what I did at the top about Double Dash. Like for nostalgia's sake, I think at this point it's my favorite. But like technically
yeah, but
speaking, I think this is the best one.
probably yeah. It just doesn't feel cool. It's not the cool answer to say, you know?
No, but maybe I don't know. Give it 16 years and see where we're at.
That's a good point. What are your final thoughts on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
I think it's a solid entry in the series. I think it reflects the standard of kart racing. Like there's a reason why Mario Kart is the first kart game that most people think of first.
There you go. That's good. Yeah. For me, I think where it does lack that character I'm looking for to give it that cool edge or whatever, it has just a complete ubiquity that I think mirrors the Switch's sensibility. Like the Switch is like such a smart, intentional device, and I think that we're now just past the eighth anniversary of it, and I think we've like forgotten how cool the Switch is because it's just the Switch at this point. But the fact that it was like both of these things in one and immediately like just
Yeah,
in out it like all of that stuff. And how clean it is compared to other Nintendo hardware, even like it feels cool in your hand. And premium and everything. And I think like, yeah, Mario Kart 8 is like a perfect complementary software title for it.
there is one thing I do want to bring up that I have in my review. Not only that's going up with this episode, but from back in the day when we kind of did a joint review of this in Deluxe,
Yes.
that still kind of
Yeah.
bothers me is everything was unlocked for me as a Deluxe
Yeah.
player, and that still kind of bothers me because it sucked away kind of the inspiration or the encouragement to go through all the cups. Besides just
That's a
just
really
wanting
good
to
point.
play through them or whatever. But like one of the cool things, like I remember from Double Dash doing it a few times. I do remember doing this in a break room. I would play all the cups, and I was just unlocking everything for us in a break room because I'm an idiot and knew exactly I had played these tracks over and over. I could get them done, but like it was something to um it was something to do, and there was a reason to play through the cups, and not just to get better for the courses, but like a real like single player type campaign kind of thing. um it kind of like I completely understand why they did it, right? Like for you who had probably
Yes.
already gone through it on the Wii U. But for someone where this was brand new, and I'm going to argue that I might be in the majority of that audience at this point of time, it just kind of sucked the soul out of me when I realized I'm not unlocking a lot because it's already all here.
No, and I, even having played the Wii U version and done all of that and bought the DLC for the Wii U version, I was bummed on the Switch version because I felt like I didn't need to do anything, like,
Yeah, that's
and
kind of how I was. Yeah, yeah.
up until they started doing DLC for the Switch version, I played this far fewer hours than I did the Wii U version. The Wii U version, I don't remember. I have to go back to my stat tracking on the Wii U that exists, and I can easily tell you every day that I played the game and for how many hours and a total of those hours spent. But on Switch, I think I was like sub 20 hours for the first 5 or 6 years of this game existing. It wasn't until you and I really got heavy into online that I spent a significant amount of time online, but it wasn't until the booster course stuff that I really dove in. Yeah, that's a really, really good point. I'm glad you called that out. We're going to rank this on the list. You can follow along at thefreecheese.com/the list. If you're listening, if you're watching, just keep watching because it's on the screen. And we're also going to kick off a new change to our list ranking for this episode 600 special, coming to you live right now. Essentially, for, let me get the number here, 128 of these, as we've ranked these video games, it's just sort of been one of us throwing a thought out there and seeing where it sticks. But today that changes forever. We each, after writing our reviews, have selected the spot where we think this game deserves to be right now. And we will present those, and then we'll argue and move things around and make it arbitrary and whatever. So, I'm going to kick us off, Matt.
Okay.
I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the new number 8. In
Oh, you went
between
high. Yes. Okay, this is good.
in between WarioWare Incorporated Mega Micro Games and South Park The Fractured But Whole.
Okay.
What was your number?
I respected the perspective of someone on this podcast, and I put it at the new number 30 because
Shoot.
I might. It's been a while since I played it, but I might be starting to agree with you, and it just might be Mario Kart 8 fatigue, and I'm ready for a new one. But heart and soul, I put it at number 30, which is what for. If you're watching, you can see it, but it is one below one Sonic and All Stars Race and Transform, which is at number 29.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with 30. No
Yeah.
argument needed.
Okay.
No, because you're right. Here's the thing. When we came up with these new rankings on our own, I did what we always do just by myself. So I looked at the list at a random spot and saw Tears of the Kingdom, and I went, well, no, this is better than that. Well, this is better than Soul Calibur 2. Well, this is better than Eco. I hadn't considered Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed the superior racing game, and I do think Sonic is better than this. You're right. Do you want to elaborate more? I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, it's been a while since I played Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform, but I remember I like the. I think this goes back, and this is where this game's very weird for me to rank because I think Mario Kart is a good game, but I also can't forget the experience I had when I first launched this game on day one, where everything was
Yeah,
unlocked, and it was kind of painful to force myself to play something where I'm not. It doesn't feel like I'm earning anything because of it. I just feel like I'm practicing for what am
yeah,
I practicing for? Online play or for me to go to your house and play on a Friday night pizza party. Like
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind
No,
of like, yeah, sure. It was fun. It's fun to play anti-grav baby park, I guess. But
no,
um,
but you're right. The Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed has a full-on like
yes,
career mode
yes,
that
it's fun.
the best part about that career mode, I don't know that you got this far. When you start that game, there are three, it's easy, medium, and hard. And
Mm-hmm.
for each one, you get a different number of, I think it's stars, right? And as you go through the map, you need a certain number of stars to progress further. So if you've been playing on easy this whole time, chances are you've got to go back and push yourself a little bit higher
Mm-hmm.
to go to medium or hard. If you go hard out of the gate and you're earning your stars all the way through and you're getting each cup unlocked and new characters unlocked along the way, you still end up at the very end of the game with a reward of, hey, here's a new world. You don't have enough stars to unlock it. And you're like, what do you mean? I have all the stars you could possibly get. No, you don't, because we've just now unlocked expert mode for you, where we've added a fourth difficulty to everything. So you have to go back. And I honestly loved it. That thrilled me to no end. I did it on the Vita version. I did it again on the 360 version. Like, love it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
really the only thing that keeps me back from Sonic and All Stars as opposed to Mario Kart is just my nostalgia. Like I know I know the Nintendo properties, and I grew up playing a lot of Mario. I don't
Yeah.
have the same affinity for Sega properties, especially Sonic. But like, I feel like if I had that, I would easily enjoy Sonic and All Stars way more than I did. Um, playing it for when we were ranking it. So, like,
Yeah.
I have to kind of come to terms with that a little bit. So, yeah, no, I think for I mean, and let's not fault us here. It's not just for the career. I think Sonic and All Stars is a really fun game to play. Um, and they were first to do all the transformation stuff too. Let's just keep that out. Let's
Yeah.
throw that
You're
out
right.
there. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, they're just like critically speaking, when if you take away the nostalgia stuff, I just think Sonic and All Stars is a better game, and the career mode is worth it, and it's still fun to play with people.
No, I fully agree with that. I will also put this out there just for you in case you're like, should I even? The Windows version of Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform has playable Rio. I don't believe he actually drives a forklift, but it's been a minute, so I don't remember. Because
I thought
again,
it was him on the arcade machine.
I think right. He drives the what is that thing
Outrun.
called? Outrun. Yes, he drives Outrun. So there is that as well. Yeah, and honestly, like I played the new Team Sonic Racing. I got into the closed beta thing or network test, whatever they did, and they asked for feedback after, and like my feedback was, "You're almost there. Just look at what the other game you did." Like because honestly, they made a sequel to Team Sonic Racing that pulls in some stuff from Sonic and All Stars, where they should have made a sequel to Sonic and All
Mm-hmm.
Stars and pulled in Team Sonic stuff. And they pulled in the wrong Team Sonic stuff. They lost the good part about Team Sonic Racing, the team factor. So I love it, Matt. 30 is good with me. I'm locking it in.
All right.
Finally, this list makes sense. You know,
Yeah. Now it does.
it just took 600 episodes, or I guess 129. I don't. Yeah. When did we actually start this? We switched this over, I believe, 436, because Billy Hatcher was our first.
Yes, that yes.
436 was the episode. So it's been
5 days since you
164.
looked. Oh, sorry. What?
Well, there you go. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Congratulations to our new number 30. Next week, we're coming back as spring continues with our Halo killer, Killzone, for the PlayStation 2. Until then, thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. If this is your first episode joining us because it's 600 and you feel like that's a good place to start, well, that's why we chose Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Kind of. It's a nice round number and a nice game to talk about for an hour and change. Tell a friend about the show. Tell your mom about the show. Tell your dad about the show. Dads like podcasts, right? Who
Probably.
doesn't? Who doesn't? Until then, thanks, Matt. Thank you. See you next time.